Hey guys, I'm gonna show you 10 ways to boost your confidence. I'm gonna speak from the spiritual perspective, but also from other things you've probably never heard before. Let's start with number one, which is tapping. Super powerful, okay? What you're gonna do is on your upper stomach, so about 2 centimeters or 1 inch below your sternum, you're gonna start tapping, okay? You tap like this. You tap on your stomach. Okay, just like anywhere you would tap like this, okay, you tap on your stomach. And you keep on tapping until the emotion which is causing the lack of self-confidence opens up, okay? Because why? Because in the solar plexus, there is your acceptance, but also your some of your fear and fear of not being accepted. And in the root chakra, that's the first chakra, you have the primal fear of death. And if you are low self-confidence, it's usually connected with the root chakra or the solar plexus, sometimes also with the throat chakra that you are fearful to communicate. So tapping works fantastic. That's tip number one. So you basically tap wherever you feel the problem. In this case, it's gonna be the upper stomach, okay? You don't do hard tapping, just like soft tapping, okay? So that's number one. Number two is understanding that, it's in these chakras. You're gonna do bija mantras. Super powerful. For the first chakra, for the root chakra, you're gonna do the bija mantra lam. So you're gonna go like this. Lum, 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 and you keep on doing that for your root chakra to open up. Then the other one is for the solar plexus, which is again about this acceptance. You're going to use the mantra ram, 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 ram. Okay. Then we're gonna use the third tip. The third tip is that you understand that you are that spiritual awakening. The third tip is that you recognize that you're not your emotions, that you're just observing the emotions. You're the infinite space, the consciousness that is observing the emotion, but you're not the emotion. Once you understand that, it will be much easier to disidentify from these emotions. So, but the tapping and the bija mantras really help in releasing that energy first. Let's go to number four. Number four would be libido self-empowerment, because libido self-empowerment is that you allow yourself to go in the direction of joy and sexuality. More joy, more sexuality. Higher probability for joy, higher probability for sexuality. If you allow yourself that, and especially have that as your primary goal in everything that you do. So anytime you have a decision, ask yourself, what would give me more joy? What would give me more sexuality? What would give me more possibility for joy or more possibility for sexuality? And if you have that as your primary objective in life, and you make every decision based on that, you are going to be able, because it's such a strong force, the libido is such a strong force, that you're going to be able to make decisions based on growth and joy. And this sacral chakra, which is the second chakra, the libido chakra, that you will not be slave to the fear anymore. So when fear comes up, you ask yourself, what would give me more joy or more sexuality right now? And if you make a decision for that, the conscious decision that you always go that direction, the fear will not have such a strong influence over you. Because to make it simplified, if you go through life, then the desire for joy and procreation is definitely much higher than the fear of death, Otherwise, we would just never do anything, right? So when you condition yourself this way, it's much easier. So, and I do it, and all these things that I give you right now, I do them, it works perfectly. I have ultra high confidence. I could be in front of, speaking in front of 10,000 people, no sweat, absolutely no problem. Then I think it's number 6 right now. Basically know what you're talking about. If you really know what you're talking about, you're always going to have confidence. If you're not prepared, you're not going to have confidence. How can you have confidence in something that you don't know anything about? So that's kind of like an obvious one, but it's there. Number 7, be guided by your higher self. How does that work? You have to meditate. Be a meditator in the sense that you come into silence and just relax into silence for at least 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And then the channel opens up and you start to receive messages from the top into your heart chakra. Okay, and that will lead. That's kind of like when people say, I'm guided by my angels. That's kind of what it says. It's like when you receive the messages from above and they tell you what to do. That will give you confidence as well. Now, the 8th point, which I talk about a lot, is understanding toxic metaframing. Toxic metaframing is when others put you down. And if you understand libido self-empowerment, but also toxic metaframing, and you understand that, you have to watch a video on that because that would take forever now explaining that. Once you understand that, when others put you down, that you immediately recognize it right from the start, then the only option you have is cut them immediately from your life. Don't deal with them at all, because they're always going to be toxic in that way. And if you do that very quickly, right from the beginning, then you have a way to deal with problematic people, but you also recognize good people, because those are the ones that don't do toxic metaframing. And that way you can create a new circle of people around you very quickly that are positive for you. And that way, that's also going to build your confidence, because if you have toxic metaframers and narcissists around you, maybe even in your family, then you're going to have low confidence for the rest of your life. And so you need to be able to cut that and go your own way. And if you follow libido empowerment, if you follow libido self-empowerment, you're also going to have much better finances in the future. So that will be point 9. If you follow that, then your finances are going to improve as well. It's because if you always follow your joy and your sexuality as a woman in your female energy, you're going to attract massive opportunities. And with those massive opportunities eventually come money. I know a few women who live that, and it always works. So that would be point 9, that financial independence comes from libido self-empowerment, and financial independence also gives you, naturally gives you also confidence. I mean, imagine not being successful and coming up to stage, or being ultra successful and coming up to stage. I mean, it's a completely different set of things. And then the 10th, I would say, is if you do all the other things, give it time. Because when you're 20, you're not expected to have the same confidence as when you're 40. That's just the way it goes. But there are people that are 40 years old and don't have confidence because they don't follow the other rules. So that's my most 10 important points, and I have massive self-confidence. No joke.